life changes when you get married. Life changes when you sign that contract. So tell me about that. How have things been different?
Yes, you feel that shift because, like she just said, if you're dating and you're mad at each other, you could just like leave the house. If you're married now, ain't no just leaving the house. Where are you going? Like, hold on, we got to talk this out. And it's like now you got to think of that balance. Like, okay, we got to talk this out. We got to kind of be on the same playing field because we in this thing for life. So
yeah. You don't have that magical escape route.
Ain't no escape
route.
Yeah.
It is permanent.
This is Relatable, Relationships Unfiltered.
Hey, welcome to Relatable, Relationships Unfiltered. Today I'm hanging out with power couple and newlyweds Will and Alexis Powell. We chat about everything from love languages to baby mama drama to their wild sex life. So congratulations on your newlywed status. When we originally met and hung out, was that over the summer? You guys were planning wedding and everything like that, but now you're officially married.
Yeah, it happened. It was beautiful. It was beautiful.
It was.
We went abroad. Wedding abroad sounds so much better than we eloped. So
where did you guys end up doing it?
Yeah, we had the actual wedding in Venice, Italy, and then we had the honeymoon in Santorini, Greece. So
you fancy.
It was beautiful. Definitely beautiful. So if anybody says, don't say eloped, say wedding abroad.
Yes, a destination wedding.
Yeah.
That is fun. So how has life changed? We were talking about before we started recording that you guys were already living together. So some similarities in that way, but life changes when you get married. Life changes when you sign that contract. So tell me about that. How have things been different?
You go first. I know what I do. I'll let you shine.
Well, put it this way: when you're dating, it's just like, okay, we're dating and it seems fun, but it's like when you're married, it seems like things get more strict. If that makes sense, it's more strict. Like you kind of tied down a little bit. You're tied for life.
I was tied already.
I mean, you tied for life, so you got to stay up to par.
I guess it's strict a little bit of what you mean by strict. I think I understand. I know for me, I felt, and this is not a bad thing, I felt stuck afterwards because beforehand, it's like you get into
it. Guys, how's this going? Like,
it's going great. No, it's going great. But it was like, as a result of feeling stuck, you handle conflict differently because beforehand, it's like, I don't have to be with you. You can leave. And then now it's like, okay, you are getting on my nerves. However,
I'm stuck.
We need to talk calmly.
That's so funny. So did you guys really, psychologically, did you sense that shift of, oh, wow, both of your faces really, for the podcast listeners, their face tells it all.
No, yes, you feel that shift because like she just said, if you're dating and you're mad at each other, you could just like leave the house. If you're married now, ain't no just leaving the house. Where are you going? Like, hold on, we got to talk this out. And it's like now you got to think of that balance. Like, okay, we got to talk this out. We got to kind of be on the same playing field because we in this thing for life. So
yeah. You don't have that magical escape route.
Ain't no escape route.
It is permanent.
Yeah.
So Alexis, you talk about finding love later in life, and were you married? Is this both your guys' first marriage or second marriage, or?
It was, Will was married before and I was not. I have my son, Noah, who's now 16, and he has Abrielle, who's now 7. So mine was, I was in a relationship, it didn't work. And then I was single for a very long time, in and out of relationships. And he was married and he had Abrielle, and then we met later on. So so when we met, he was going through a separation and I was single, and we had our kids, and then bingo, bango. That's where it started. So he was, I wasn't.
How did you guys meet again? I'm sure I've asked you this, but it's embarrassing. Okay, I want to know.
Not embarrassing. I guess you can tell this one because it's always funny when you tell it.
It's awesome. No, okay. So what happened is that I had my own fitness studio in Hampton, Virginia, and I had all Group X, and he had his own gym in Virginia Beach, which was mostly personal training. And so he kind of just hit me up in my DMs and was like, hey, I see you have your own studio. I'm looking for a fitness instructor. Do you teach, this format or that format? And I was like, I do, but I actually own my own studio and I'm looking for a personal trainer. Do you do training? He was like, yeah. And I was like, so wait, you own your own spot? He was like, yeah. You own your own spot? I was like, yeah. I said, ooh, powerful people. And then we decided to go out to, he asked if we could go out to lunch to talk business. And I had not looked at him yet.
How could you not see him? Again, podcast listeners, at least tune into YouTube to see this man because you don't not see him.
But I didn't look at. I was 100% business, and I think you had looked. I think you had looked at me.
Oh yeah. I stalked their page. I watched the dancing video. I was like, wow. So I didn't discriminate. Yeah,
he's not just slipping in your DMs because he doesn't know you're pretty. Give me a break.
And so when we finally, I knew something was weird because we were supposed to go out. I think it was like on a Thursday or a Friday. And then he messages me, can we go one earlier day? And I'm like, okay. And then the day before that, he was like, so we're going here. Can you go ahead and tell me what you want to eat? I'm like, we're going to eat tomorrow. And you're already thinking about what's on the menu. And so I said, okay. And I still hadn't looked at him. I was busy. I was focused. And then we just went. It was like a little tiny Asian Thai spot. And and I went in there and I'm sitting down and I'm waiting to figure out this meeting. And this is going to be personal training. And then this sexy piece of chocolate walks in, threw me off completely. I said,
this Greek god in all his glory walks in and you're like, shit, I was not prepared for that.
I wasn't. And it was like, do you want me to get some napkins? So I immediately became so like, hi. And it was great. And then we were talking and every conversation was smooth. And then I remember he was talking and it was like, wow, 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 wow. I was not paying attention. I was just looking at everything. And then I remember at one point I was like, you have really big hands.
Oh my gosh.
The meeting
that is so funny.
The meet was great. The whole thing was we got off track. We got off track fast. Like fast.
Sounds like
it. I'm like, man, is this really a meeting right now? Like, it was like a first date or something, and then the conversation.
Wait, was that not your point, Will?
No, I actually was coming for business. Honesty, complete honesty. And it could sound like I'm fibbing right now, but yeah, it was complete honesty. Yeah, well, I literally thought that this is a business meeting, but it turns out fast.
Business to pleasure, real quick.
Slid into the DMs and then the rest, and then we have literally spoken to each other every day since.
And how long have you guys been together?
5 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
so long time.
Yes.
So what was it like for you guys when you started blending families? So with you each having a child, different gender, different ages, that brings its own complexities. What was that like for you guys?
Goodness. Well, I mean, first of all, that was just, I'll let you go. I learned to be
quiet.
Well,
I put it this way. I mean, my child is pretty young. She's 7. Noah's now 16. And then it's trying to figure out the balance with that and then getting to know her son because I knew when he was younger. So it's just a whole bunch of transitions, man. So the blended family thing took some work. If that sums everything up, it took a lot of work, but we made it happen. But it was a lot of hurdles in between.
What do you think the biggest hurdles were?
Oh, man. I can start from anywhere, but it's just like I said, getting a chance to know her son liking me, bonding. Like how do I approach the kid? I don't, if I need to discipline him or, hey, what do you like, buddy? Like all these different things. And then the same thing going for my daughter. Like, is she gonna like my kid? Does she want a daughter? Like, it was just like, this is a little bit more stressful than I thought, but. It came with growth over time, just kind of learning on the go.
Yeah, I think discipline was a big one because you have different discipline styles, and things like that, and different boundaries and different closeness and things like that, and just getting adjusted. And the thing is that my son lives with us, and we have our daughter every other weekend, so it's 2 different dynamics. And being that my son is older, his dad, we had to actually be cool with his dad and all their family. Mm-hmm. And we are really cool, thank goodness, because, since my son was already like 12 or when we met, we had already been apart for so long. There's no envy, no animosity. So we really co-parent very, very well. And he's cool with Will. I'm cool with his new wife. Everything's cool. Yeah. And then the disciplining the kids and things like that. And then on the other end, as far as like baby mama drama, ex-wife stuff, that is hell. You said don't sugarcoat. So I'm going to sugarcoat.
I do not want a sugarcoating.
No, and so it's just a balance of when you have somebody who's young and then you have the love that you show her in your household versus somebody saying, I can't stand that bitch. It's like that kind of thing where you're like, okay, let's just keep it positive, people.
Yeah. Yeah. And how do you navigate that then? That is honestly one of my fears when I think about like dating or getting back in a relationship. I don't want to deal with no crazy bitches. Like I don't got time for it. And that, there are a lot of situations where like people do get along. Like you're saying you're cool with your ex, I'm cool with my ex. Like, and I know plenty of people who are, but it's so hard when you're not. What do you do with that?
I'll say, since I'm the one who had to deal with, well, you have to deal with it sometimes, but it's like, so we've been together for 5 years. She will not talk to me, and that's fine. And so what I realized was this: I had to take it and mentally process it and digest it a little bit differently. And the way that I processed it was I've been kind. So whenever the little comes over and says, my mommy doesn't like you, I'm like, well, you tell her I think she's beautiful. That's what you tell her. So I just take the opportunity to be an example, to be positive. And then as much as I wanted to let it eat me up inside, I actually took it as a moment of power. I have the power to make somebody be quiet if I just enter the room and I haven't done anything. I have the power to smile while they're scowling. I'm like, I'm happy and you're not. And it's like I just had to kind of flip it in my brain to let them own the misery and me just stay in my little happy little box. And just remember, if your presence can make somebody turn their head the other way, then you're a pretty powerful person. And I just had to look at it like that. I'm like, I ain't done nothing to you.
Was it tempting for your crazy bitch side to come out? Because mine comes out pretty easily.
It was.
Yeah,
it was
she asked me plenty of times, like, how should I respond to you? Should like, because I'm like, But I mean, something she said that was key though. She said I got to put my big girl pants on because if I take the higher road, yes, it's harder. Maybe it'll be better, over time. But she held it down.
Yeah.
What's it like for you, Will, having that dynamic? That, puts you in probably the worst position of all.
It does. I mean, you got to deal with all the cursing and, you know what, you do with her ass then and all that back and forth. And then you basically got two angry women. And like I said, I'm in the middle and I'm just like, you know what? Y'all got to figure this out. You just get stuck on your words and you just try to figure it out on the go. And the whole thing with, I hope most men, the ones that are listening out there, you just try to, the easiest way as possible so this thing can, sail on through. But
was it ever tempting to throw in the towel for you, Will? Like, was it ever like, this is just too much?
At some point, but I got to admit, she made it easy on me because she always is about solution. So that made it easy for me. But if it wasn't no solutions or anything to kind of figure this thing out, I probably would have threw the towel in, but but it's balancing out a little bit now. Yeah. So, I can't knock how she handled everything.
Well, I think we had a conversation and I just kept it very real. And I said, you just have to prioritize who you're trying to please. Meaning that when you're trying to avoid conflict with the baby mama, if it causes conflict in the household, it's not worth it. So therefore, I got to keep everybody happy. Actually, no, you don't. It's keep the household happy, number one. And then whatever you can do, she is the mother. So if you have to do something to kind of, put her at ease about something or the way that you're disciplining, or if you want to have a babysitter, whatever it may be, I understand respecting, and making the mother feel comfortable. But there's a certain between you bend to make other people happy in general, right? Your friends, your family. You bend to make them happy. You don't bend over and break though. Now there's a line now. There's only a certain amount. So there is no, I have to keep both women happy. It's no, I have to please my wife. You come second, but I'll do what I can when I can.
Is this what you mean about it getting strict, Will? Is this a good example of that? Holy shit. She's like, no, you keep me happy.
down that line instead.
But it's clearly working. Like you and Alexis, you are just, I mean, I know you personally, you are such a kind-hearted, like, and like Will said, you are so solution focused. So that I would imagine would make it a lot easier versus if you were petty. That, I mean, it would be impossible, right?
It's
like
hard not to be petty.
Oh,
Because,
of course.
Yes, she want to be petty.
but it's hard not to be petty. It's really, really hard. But I gotta say that it is hard. So like when that whole thing when Michelle Obama was like, when they go low, you go high. No, that is difficult. That is hard.
Yeah,
like, it is. But I mean, it can still be done, but it is not without.
Yeah, takes a lot of effort. How do your kids get along, and how did you manage like meshing them? Do they, I mean, they're so far in age, so they probably don't spend too much.
They talk smack. My daughter loves picking on Noah. But overall, like, he knows she's the young one, and she loves waking him up in the morning and, you know, doing certain stuff. And I gotta go tell Noah about something, you know. So they're cool. So as long as they get along and they're cool, I mean, I ain't got.
And we lucked out because they happen to look alike. So.
Yeah, I mean, they do. When you guys post stuff of your family, oh my gosh, like you guys
like brother and sister. So that's the cool part too.
So
cute.
Very, very, very well. We're very fortunate that they get along. And she's a cute little bossy, sassy thing, and I love her. So she loves being bossy. So if she loves telling Noah what to do, so it was like in the morning, I'm like, can you go wake Noah up? Okay, and it's like I'm gonna go make sure he's awake. So it's definitely like that with the kid, because I think you have a son, yes?
Yeah, I have a 15-year-old, but he hasn't. I dated somebody for a short time who had kids, so he like there was somewhat of a blending. It wasn't like serious enough though, like that he had to actually get used to it. But he's the only child. So are both yours until you combine. So he wants siblings. Like he likes the big family feel. So I think he's hoping that myself or his father finds somebody with kids for sure. But I have some pretty strict rules on a lot of that. Like age range, like you're saying, baby mama stuff, like the stars would have to align for that to be a thing.
But see, sometimes they don't, because sometimes you just happen to just trip and fall in love, and the next thing you know, you have a little child and a crazy ex, and you're just like, well, I love you, so let's take it.
Or you don't. And you just stay guarded and don't go on dates. And there's that option too. Not a good choice, listeners. That's not at all what I'm suggesting. However, that is kind of how I have not fallen into that. I do. I mean, that's my end goal, but all of those things, that's a lot to manage. What would you say, like conflict wise? So, and would you say that being in a relationship in later in life, like starting a serious one in that way, that there's a different type of conflict that came with than your earlier relationships?
Yeah.
And how does that?
So he was in a long relationship. So it's a little different, because while he was in one long, not so pleasant relationship, I was in short ones when as soon as you did me wrong, I'm out. Okay. So it was like long, and I don't know how you can describe it, however you describe it. But yeah, so what happened is that I think dating later on, the differences are vast, because I think for me, I had my own house. I had my own career. I had already been raising my son on my own. I had my shit together, and I know a lot of people hate this when they say, I don't need you, I want you. But I love saying that. I don't need you, I want you. Because I'm not one of those people where I need you to pay my bills. I need you to do this. I want you to know you're here because I want you, not because I need you. But unfortunately, a lot of men, including this one, likes to feel needed. Yeah. And they want to hear that sentence. I need you. And I'm like, I don't need you. I want you. And I love you. And so I think that the conflict that comes with that is when you have somebody who already has their way of doing things, unlike when you're growing up together. Like I have a friend where they got married right out of high school, and they did everything together. They learned together. They got joint accounts. They're so used to everything being blended. There's really not a her and a him, it's a them. And so it's just a little different, I think, later on, because then you have somebody who already has all their shit together and they're not.
That's what I can relate to as well. And I talk about that a lot, that like I don't want to live with anyone ever again because of that, because I have my own very set way, like my morning routine, my night routine, like all of those things that would be so hard to mesh. And I mean, I got married right out of high school, so I can relate to your friend that, and we were married for 18 years and we did grow up together. And so in that dynamic, that was easy. I mean, even still when he comes over, like we operate as though, I mean, we've been doing it forever and that's easy. But when you start interacting with someone new who you haven't known forever, there's a lot of like quirks and nuances. And how was that for you, Will?
Well, that's tough, man. I can say for one is, when you starting to come together and you got different things you're used to doing. I know one I can say that just recently happened. I am a fan of motorcycles. She hates it, but I told her all the stories like, hey, I love to ride my motorcycle. That's my getaway. That's my guide therapy, all that good stuff. Right. So once I got on the bike and got back into my routine, man, oh man, this is hell. Like, oh, you going on the bike again, huh? Oh, okay. I see what time. I guess we make plans. What am I doing wrong? And I told you this up front. But it's that sort of thing, and just different things that you do like that or your daily. So that's all.
Do you find that you end up giving in more, or do you hold your ground more?
I actually hold my ground on that one because that's something that I like to do. We all have something that we like to do, and we kind of gonna fight for that one or two things that we love. So
does it create conflict? Like, is it like a fight every time?
It did at first.
Well, I think that it did at first because it's cute how, the power of omission. When somebody doesn't tell you everything.
Oh, we're about to see it live right here.
It was not, oh my gosh, I put my foot down to get a bike and that she didn't want me to have a bike. The sentence was, I want you to have a bike. I don't think you should get it right now because your car is about to break down. So I think that you should get the car fixed before you get the bike. That's just my 2 cents.
So it wasn't about the bike to you. It was about needing to get the car fixed.
Yes. And then what happened is he omitted this. What caused the conflict is that he's been telling me he didn't have a bike when I met him, but I knew that he loved bikes and I wanted him to be happy. Okay, I wanted him to be happy. And so he'll sit around and watch TikTok and YouTube and Reels. And all I hear is vroom, 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 all on the screen. And if a motorcycle goes out, he'll poke his head through the window and look. I'm like, this dude really loves motorcycles. I really think he could have an orgasm listening to the sounds of motorcycles. That is how much he loves them. And so what happened is that the conflict came when he finally gets his bike. And the first thing he does is get it customized because he said, I can't ride any old bike. It has to be customized. And
what does that mean? Like
when you get a whole new paint job, some gold on it, glitter, or whatever.
Shit.
And his name on it, whatever it is. And he goes to pick it up. Finally, he goes to pick up the bike. And then on his way home, who flips over the goddamn bike, busts up their whole side, their hands, and everything. And then I went into scary mode. I'm like, you could have died. And so it was. So now when he rides his bike, it's not that I don't like him riding. It's just that I'm scared to death.
Yeah, I mean, which I feel is kind of valid, don't you think?
See how the stories differed? You see one lens, two lenses.
It was a freak small accident. Like I said, I've been riding almost 14 years, and a lady literally was on her phone.
That 5-day hiatus jacked you up.
Look, this lady is literally on her phone. We're both at an intersection, but I know I was there first. I'm going to go. So literally, she probably wasn't paying me any mind, but I'm looking forward. Like, why is her head down? So clearly, she's texting her in her lap. But it's my time to turn once everything gets cleared. And she looks up, seeing it's clear on her left, but then she looks up and she just takes off, literally about to hit me. I'm like, oh, she's going to either hit my right leg. I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. And I like freaked out. I don't know what I did at that particular moment, but all I know is when I either hit this over or hit the brake, I end up letting the bike just launch me. So I guess I locked the brakes and it threw me over the bike. With the bike, I had like frame sliders and stuff like that. So minor, super minor damage.
So did your name get scuffed up on the bike?
Well, I
he redid it.
I redid some things and all the customization because there was a lot of work done with exhaust and all that stuff. But
it's not the bike. It's
not the bike. But I took some pounding, like my hands and bones, and it's kind of bruised for a little while. I'm still a little bit lightly bruised now, but I'm gradually almost 100 100%.
Wait, did this happen recently?
Yes.
Like a month ago.
Oh my gosh. What did that lady do?
Remember my response?
What was your
Go
response?
get life insurance.
I did.
I'm gonna go get a whole coverage on you. You need life insurance. I'm gonna go call the agent and we're gonna sit down. When I call him, I'm gonna let you know how it goes. And then like, I need life insurance.
Okay, well.
So I'm a liability now. Like, what?
And I did. We
Wait.
have a meeting with the life insurance.
Nah, she's serious. We ain't playing around. This is
Okay. Well,
I said, don't jinx like that, man.
Win, lose. I don't really know how to look at that, but
I ride extra cautious. Now I know you can't prevent anything, but it's been great rides ever since then, though. So
yeah, but that would be scary though, for real, because I have the same feeling about bikes in general. Like, they freak me out. So if my partner went flying over the top of it, that would create some fear. I mean, we could validate Alexis and for that fear, right?
Sure. I mean, she's right. The only thing was I usually don't ride inner city, but I had to pick the bike up. That's the only thing. If I was on the interstate, it would have never happened. But I can't. It happened.
It is what it is.
For sure.
So, what is Alexis's quirk that, similar to your bike, that she like has and won't compromise on? This is about to get good. I can see it on his face.
Man, so I don't even want to answer this wrong. So I don't know. It could be. It's not a right or wrong, but I know she's big on quality time. She's big on quality time, and I need to make time for that no matter what. How busy the day is, and just time management. So if I don't have that segment where we're having that time and going out, and I'll have my head chewed off.
That's not a quirk.
It's not a quirk for you.
That's not something that I do.
Oh
well, but
I mean,
it sounds like something you're not willing to compromise on.
Yeah, she doesn't want to compromise it. If I'm compromising quality time, I think that is big. Now, if I'm wrong, you can tell me I'm wrong. I mean,
wait, do you not like quality? What is your love language, Will?
Mine?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it's acts of service. Right?
No, yours is words of affirmation.
Really? I thought it was both,
Do you feel affirmed right now as she's telling you you're wrong?
Physical touch.
We read the book and did the test.
Physical touch.
Got it.
So words of affirmation first, and yours was physical touch second, and mine was acts of service first, and time second.
So what do you think he means when we'll go into a little marriage counseling mode here. So what do you hear Will saying when he's talking about this quality time situation?
I think he's just talking about what I complain about. That's what it is. I'm pretty certain because, he has, clients and things like that. And so it's like the schedule, like we used to have like Monday evening was our safe haven time slot. Any other day, Monday during the day, anything. And then next thing you know, he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to train on this day at 7. I said, oh, aren't I? Okay. And I said, okay. But I just said, okay. Or if we're watching a movie and he falls asleep, I'm like, now you did not turn on El Chapo and make me watch El Chapo so that you could fall asleep because I could have been watching HGTV. And so, but instead, now I'm stuck watching El Chapo, watching somebody get killed and raped.
By yourself. No moral support, nothing.
Nobody to talk to about it. Like, no, did you see that? Can you believe that? No, it's just by myself. And then I'm up at night thinking about, I can't believe how they raped that girl. It's like,
and you're still sleeping, and she has no one to process with.
Yes. No.
How do you feel about that?
I honestly don't think that I have a lot of quirks. If anything, what do you complain about? What do you complain about? I'm trying to think what he complains about. He complains about. Oh, I know. I got it.
What is it?
I talk too much about goals. That is what he hates. Anytime.
Interesting.
Yes. He'd be like, we even have like this Reels video or whatever. He was like, I said, what's it like dating me? He was like, it's pressure. You always talk about what's your next move, what you want to do next, how you going to level up, how you going to be better. What's next? Oh, he hates it. And I love it. I don't know why.
If you ever watch the video, all I say is the day in life with Alexis is just work.
Okay. Well, I can kind of relate to that. So that's probably what the people in my life would say as well. But are you not both goal-oriented? Because like y'all kind of look like it.
Yes, I just busy my schedule up more. And that's why, I kind of kept the Mondays and Fridays and kind of crammed, a lot. So I like that free time. But now that this is like the busy season for me with a lot of clients and athletes and stuff like that, I couldn't hold those days back no more. So now it's like I'm working, spaced out. So my days seem very, 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 very long. And it's just, the structure just kind of changed big time.
So did you guys replace the quality time somewhere else? No, I take that. Oh, okay.
At the moment, no. But at the moment, no.
That would be really hard. That would because that's what my love language too. So that's what I get most bent out of shape about if I'm dating somebody, if they don't have time, if they don't make time. That's where my crazy bitch comes out. I definitely am not good at regulating those feelings. So
it has not been. So that's why I don't really think that, because I successfully do without it. And so, but I do busy myself up with work or going to the gym with my son or talking to my mom or whatever it is. I think so I don't think I have a lot of purpose. I can tell you the one thing that he doesn't want me to do that I am going to do. And this is the equivalent of his motorcycle. I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do it. Even though he's going to fight me, I'm going back to my dance lessons and he doesn't want me to go and I'm going. So he got his little motorcycle, his little crotch rocket, and I'm going to go back to my little bachata lessons. And he has fought me tooth and nail on it, but he put his foot down on the bike and I'm going to bachata my ass off.
Do you teach the lessons or you?
No, student. Okay. List to do amateur ballroom. And so anything that has to do bachata, lambada, samba, all that stuff.
Is it because it's sexy dance that you don't like it, Will? Oh, she's bumping and grinding. Okay, so that's the problem.
Look, man, you hit it on the button. Look, it's too sexual. You going into these, let's say you got private lessons. You getting into these lessons, y'all in the mood. Oh, I love this. I love this. Because, physical touch and stuff, you're moving, you're dancing. It's really sexual.
You have to trust me.
Oh, I know that part, but it's human. We're human.
Sure. I could see that. I could see them not wanting to.
Man, if I was a guy instructor, yes, I'm going to be focused, but you see beautiful people all the time. It's kind of human nature. Stuff happens. I'm not saying that happens, but, stuff happens in general. Just, what is that chemical throughout the body that, all that was released, whatever that is. Yes, I couldn't hit on it. Yes, all that stuff is
all the dopamine, the serotonin.
Yeah, so it's just, I don't know. I'm thinking outside the box, I guess. Maybe
you're worried she's getting real horny with her dance partner, and that's you out.
He's not giving me my quality time.
Oh man,
you gotta get horny with someone. Why didn't you guys do the lessons together?
Because of his schedule.
But look, you hit another one on the button. So I told her, I said, look, I can restructure this Monday now because I got control of my schedule. If I have to push clients, I can do that. I just, had it to where it fits me, but I can move that Monday to get, we're going to do every Monday, we'll do lessons. I'm going to be in that class with you and we're going to be learning this bachata, doing it and, get our sexual on. So,
Get your sexual on.
That's all you had to do. That's all you had to tell them was you're going to do that. So are you guys going to do it together then or no?
We are. They have the open class, I believe, on Monday. So we're gonna give that a go. And so
I told the guy, give me the date. I'm gonna go ahead and start rearranging some stuff and it's on.
Yeah. Sounds like he's not letting it happen otherwise.
Yeah, I won't be there.
Is that fine with you, Alexis? Do you like him as your
I don't know. I don't mind him as my dance partner. I think it's fun. It's just, but that's just Monday. And so being that, and as you know, high stress jobs or high demanding jobs, you want something as a release and something that you can do. And it's just kind of so going to the gym is one thing, going to dance lessons is one thing to kind of de-stress. Because you definitely, with the amount of level of, pressure that we have with what we do in different industries, and we try to drink that away, you're just going to end up an alcoholic. So you have to find another way. And so if we do dance lessons on Monday and I go to the gym, I will have to find something at some point that's just my own. Riding his bike is his own. Right now I'm too busy with work to find something that's my own. Other than that, I may do a puzzle every now and then. But
well, is work kind of your own? Is that
it's still work? I want something after work. But work is my own. I love what I do. I love what I do. with
So
passion.
you guys had said at the beginning that like since getting married, you have to communicate. You're stuck. You have nowhere to go. What are some of your like go-to communication skills that you have found to be most effective? And do you guys like seek out this information, or how have you guys learned to kind of like grow together?
Well, that's a great question, by the way.
Thank
That's
you.
a great question. Through this process, and then like I said, we're still newlyweds and all that good stuff. But then we've been together 5 years, and then over the years, learning each other more and more and more, which we're gonna continue to do. She's gotten good with having these sit down. She like every night she has a notebook, and she's big on like time management, writing her stuff down. She wants me to do it. I was like, I don't want to do it, but I'll talk it through with you because I don't want to write stuff down. But she's like, no, it'll help us because we'll stay on task and schedule, and whatever gaps we have in between, we can kind of talk it through. So we kind of have that day to day, and then we know where our gaps is, so we can fit in like a lunch date or whatever the case may be. So it's just having those talks. I mean, we do have those talks. I think pretty frequently. Like we used to not have those talks as much, but I think that kind of helps. The talking part. Just I guess that's in the communication.
Yeah.
So,
what shifted that? Like what did you
man.
guys feel like disconnect, or was like more conflict was happening? Like
It
what
was because we had a lot of imbalances across the board. I mean, then we have some imbalances like with scheduling and trying to get back. What do you think? I mean, because I could be wrong too, because I may
could be right
the other way. Yeah, true.
I mean, I think that we just communicated differently. Like even with our upbringings and things like that, like I'm very detailed and I'm very aware of what I'm saying. I'm very aware of what I'm doing. I mean what I say what I mean. I know it down to the definition. I don't jack anything up. And I take ownership of everything that I say. Unlike some people speak more casual and they're like, well, I didn't mean it like that. No, it meant this. I'm like, but that's not what you said. And so it's like him trying to adjust to me being detailed and me trying to take a step back. And one of the hardest things has been not listening to exactly what his words are, but what is he trying to say? Asking myself that question before I get bent out of shape. Like, wait, okay, I know what he just said was a really jacked up sentence, but what is he trying to say? And then when I take that one little layer, it gives me that moment to kind of process. And then I know with different things where when you want to resolve a conflict, you know, talking about things is cool, but I kind of put it on a tier. Is it even worth it? Like, is this something that's big or small? Like, okay, he brushed his beard and hair is on the floor. Is it big or small? Well, that's pretty small in the big scheme of things. It would take me 1 second to sweep it up. I'm not going to talk about that. Versus if somebody were to per se accidentally leave the back door unlocked, like, hey, just so you know, by the way, that was me who left the door unlocked, but but in general, just trying to prioritize that in communication and communication has been tough. It really, really has been. It's been a very long process in trying to communicate better. I forgot what else, but we did do the whole premarital counseling thing. We did that.
Oh, we did.
Yeah, we did premarital counseling.
We did like 2 different sets.
We did 2. We did one that was like through a regular like premarital counseling, and we did one that was through our church. So we got 2.
Mentor,
and it was definitely just an eye opener because we had to have open conversations like, how often do you expect to have sex, which is a big one, or how do you like to have sex? And it was just like, meeting each other in the middle. And then if somebody watches too much porn, are they getting too freaky with you? Whatever it is, like, we really had to figure that out. Or how do we balance this? It's like,
What do you think your biggest takeaway was from the premarital? Like, I want to hear from each of you what each of your biggest like takeaway was.
Oh, she can start this one off first because that was some tough days, man.
Because of what you were digging into?
Man, it was layers deep, man. But the big one was like, but the intimacy part of like how often should you have sex and all this stuff, and it was getting like, what do you think is good? What do you think is good? And it was like, what? And then you got your mentor looking at you like, I'm like, what did I say was wrong? Because we're gonna all have our opinions, but what do you expect? You got 2 people that work out all the time. What do you think? I mean, I don't know.
You guys be doing those dance classes together. I mean, you should be having frequent sex. But did you not have all that sorted out prior? Is that a source of conflict for you guys? Like frequency?
I think it was just like with a lot of it. I think first of all, anybody. Well, I don't know what the circumstances could be, but I remember I was like, I don't know anybody who doesn't mind getting freaky deaky from every now and then. Like, that's fine. Getting, do your thing, put in your outfit, grab a whip, who cares? But it's just kind of like I said, hey, sometimes I don't want to be a porn star. Is that okay? Can we balance out making love and fucking? Can we balance it a little bit?
Sure, fair.
Like, because like I get that it's fun to just do whatever, but every now and then you want the intimate part of it.
Yeah,
and
for
so
sure.
we had to talk that through, and then and then I remember when we got because they have like the little questionnaire thing, and then you look at it afterwards to see how you guys compared. And I was totally happy with 2 or 3 times a week, and his I think was once or twice a day. And I said,
hold on. Why are you making that face? You're shaming your man right now. What
I'm saying, my vagina could not handle that twice a day. Like, I mean, men want to say that whores have loose vaginas, but if you screw me twice a day, mine would get loose too. I'm like, you're not trying to pound the punani like that much. You got to give her time to snap back. It's like,
okay, so it's an overuse issue. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's overusage of the vagina. Like, you got to be gentle. They're like you can't be doing it that much. By that point, she's just gonna be like throwing a hot dog down a hallway. So you don't want that. So it's like,
from an anatomy standpoint, I don't think that's how it works, but I feel you that there is truth in that there is discomfort and pain when it is overused. I will definitely validate that. So it's
Oh man, I'm trying to.
It sounds like there was a difference in frequency and in preference. Did you guys, what we all want to know, did you guys sort it out? Is Alexis being overused? Is the real question.
No, we definitely sorted that out, man. It was just I don't know. I just told her, I don't know, maybe I'm just hyperly active, I guess.
Well, but can't you engage in sexual acts without penetration?
Yeah.
Why'd y'all get so quiet?
Well, I guess depending on what you may consider. I mean, it could just get listened.
We could turn this into a whole different podcast right now. So
For sure.
We found a better balance. It's at least better than it's improved. And for me, being solution oriented, I'm just all about improvement and then figuring out the other things. Like, I'm fortunately very open with my parents, so I got to talk to my dad, and I said, Dad, what do you do when your partner wants some and you are stressed out about this, or you got this on your mind, you don't feel like it? What do you do? And my dad said, well, most men ain't gonna last past 10 minutes. So we'll it up and do it. There's only 10 minutes of your time. And he said, but if you're really in pain, or if you really have an injury, or if something's really bothering you, then you can go ahead and just let your partner know. But he was like, for the most part, it's only gonna take you a couple minutes. And we can get.
Do you agree? Is that the life advice you are providing to the world?
Because sometimes when your partner wants to be pleased, and you're like, if I'm thinking about work, or I'm thinking about this, or I have so many other things that are swirling around my brain, and then when you're stressed out about, oh, I invested this and this outcome and this is tomorrow, and then you're literally in your laptop like, I'm focused, and then you have somebody coming out, like, are you ready? I'm like, I wasn't even there mentally, but let me get into focus mode.
Well, and I think that's all, like, those are the conversations of like the compromise and because I think what happens often is that men typically, obviously saying this very, very stereotypically, but kind of get the bad rap that they want sex so much and they can never be satisfied and all of those things. But I think it's like, becomes kind of unfair. I'm not what you're saying. I validate what you're saying, but that there's nothing wrong with him wanting it more often, and there's nothing wrong with you wanting it less often. And I think that's where those conversations take place of like what makes sense.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I playfully said once, I'm just gonna buy you a fleshlight. I was like, I'm so sick of this conversation.
See, that's what I'm saying. There's other options.
Might break that thing or something.
But yeah, we definitely worked on meeting each other in the middle, literally. Yes.
Okay. And on that note, where can our viewers learn more about your sex lives? Not really, but actually just about you guys.
That's funny.
Go ahead. Where can people find you at, babe?
Oh, so anybody can find me on Instagram at Will_Power_3, or Facebook is just Will Powell, P-O-W, and then Roman numeral 3.
Yes, I'm easy to find as well. It's just I am King Alexis. So I am KING ALEXIS. I am King Alexis on Instagram, or Alexis Perkins on Facebook. We're pretty easy to find, I think. Yeah.
Okay. And what about, is there like business website or anything that either one of you want to throw out?
They're on like
Everything's
Linktree.
yeah.
Everything. Try to keep them all connected because it's too much stuff. I know between all the business, if you know what I mean.
For sure.
I feel ya, for sure. Well, thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me and for putting all your business out there for my listeners. I and as well as them appreciate it. Say it again.
Next time it's your sex life that we talk.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't think mine is nearly as interesting as your guys's. So, all right, you guys, thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks so much, Will and Alexis, for hanging out today. And Will, take it easy on Alexis. And thank you all for hanging out with me on Relatable Relationships Unfiltered. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, sign up for my newsletter, and find me on Instagram at Dr. Elizabeth Fedrick.